From the National Newsroom of the Canadian Press, I'm Karen Rebo. A new report released this morning says a Canadian family of 4 can expect to spend up to $801 more on food next year.
The report by experts at 4 Canadian universities says food prices are likely to rise between 3 and 5% next year, with the average family shelling out roughly $16,800 annually for food. The report's authors say there are some wild cards that could drive food prices higher, including severe weather and Donald Trump's return to the White House. The report says meat will see some of the largest price increases, followed by vegetables and dining out in restaurants. Michelle Zedekian, The Canadian Press.
The Canadian Union of Postal Workers says more counter-proposals have been sent to the federal mediator working to help broker a deal with Canada Post that would end the union's nationwide strike. The walkout is now 3 weeks old, and the union says it is ready for the special mediator to call negotiators back to the table and restart suspended talks. The suspect in yesterday's stabbing attack in downtown Vancouver has died in the hospital after being shot by police. Video captured by a bystander shows police firing at least 10 times inside a convenience store. Witnesses describe a chaotic scene where a man stole liquor and a knife from a restaurant, then used the knife to stab people in a 7-Eleven across the street. Police say one person was stabbed in the hand, another suffered facial injuries. Victims of intimate partner violence and their supporters are upset after early election speculation in Ontario forced a legislative committee to cut short what was supposed to be an exhaustive study of the issue. One of the committee's leaders from the governing Progressive Conservatives expedited the study's timeline with the goal of completing a report by February. But the other leader, New Democrat Kristen Wong-Tam, is frustrated.
I just think now this whole process is very much becoming a farce.
Wong-Tam is particularly upset the committee will no longer be traveling to Renfrew County to meet with those involved in a seminal coroner's inquest into the murders of 3 area women at the hands of a former partner. And some Swifties are figuring out their plan B for how to get some of their hundreds of homemade friendship bracelets into Vancouver's BC Place for Taylor Swift's final 3 shows of her Eras tour this weekend. The stadium announced a ban on loose objects and large bags, forcing fans to figure out other ways to bring their bracelets to the shows for trading with other fans. Christina Bates, who's traveling from Nashville, Tennessee for tomorrow's show with 200 bracelets, she says she's had to get creative and she'll wear them.
I can comfortably fit 40 on each arm. I have done the test run with it, and we can do 40 without circulatory issues.
Edmonton's Michaela Crook says she hopes to trade 300 bracelets at the show and will use safety pins to attach them to her bodysuit. This is the Canadian Press. In sports, Austin Matthews scored twice early in the third period, and the Toronto Maple Leafs rallied back to win 3-2 over Nashville. Mitch Marner chipped in with 3 assists as the Leafs won for the 10th time in 12 games. Marner was among 17 players named to round out Canada's roster for the NHL Four Nations Face-Off tournament in February.
It's going to be a very cool moment. It's always a great honor when you get to represent your country.
Also last night, Calgary Flames defenseman Rasmus Andersson was named to the Swedish team.
Super excited to be part of this team.
The 4-team event also includes the U.S. and Finland. It goes February 12th to 20th in Montreal and Boston. Sarah Fillier scored the first 2 goals of her PWHL career as the New York Sirens beat the Montreal Victoire 4-1. In the NBA, the Toronto Raptors had the night off ahead of hosting tonight's game against OKC. Last night, the Miami Heat beat the LA Lakers 134-93. From the Canadian Press, I'm Karen Rebo.
Thanks for listening. Don't forget to follow and subscribe. For more of today's top stories, visit thecanadianpressnews.ca.